Yes, good evening. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV for the Spurs review, episode 40. 40 of these now, plus all the ones I did before. So we must be on about 300 or something. Welcome to Nige from Pure Coys. If one of my mods would put his link in the chat, let's get him to 2,000 subscribers and let's do it quickly. So mods, please, can one of you do it? Before I bring Nige in, some housekeeping. Smash the like button. Please subscribe to both myself and Nige if you have not already. And if anyone would like to buy me a coffee, feel free. If not, don't. It is what it is. Nige, how are you, my man? Long time since we streamed together.
It is. I'm fantastic. Things are good. Spurs are doing well, and all positive here. Yeah. So big up Savva and big up to the chat as well.
Yeah, why not? Big up to the chat. The bipolar nature of the chat is always fun, depending whether Spurs win or lose. I can guarantee you right now, we've got about 175 and growing. I can guarantee if Everton had beaten us 3-0, we'd have about 750 people in. And that's YouTube, as we were just talking about, mate. People want drama. Where to start, Nigel? So it was Everton away. Let's face it. They've played 5 games at their new stadium. They've not lost. Tricky game off the back of a midweek away Champions League game. Injuries piling up, but Spurs got on with it and a great result, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did a show this morning. I must admit, I was quite bullish. I didn't think Spurs would lose today, simply because our record at Goodison Park. I know we obviously won at Goodison. We'd only lost 1 in the last 12 in the Premier League. I think we drew 8 of them, won 3. So I was confident we wouldn't lose. But to go to their new ground where they're unbeaten, and they're a different Everton side now. They have a bit more flair about them, don't they? With Ndiaye and Grealish.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be a tough game, and to be the first team to go there and beat them, and let's be honest, beat them handsomely. Maybe the score flattered us a bit, but really good performance.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and you're right. I mean, I said before the games, I thought that it was really key to us dealing with Ndiaye and Grealish, and you could see the quality those two have got. Like when you look at those two, I'm thinking, I want one of them in my team. I want one of them. But we dealt with. I've just seen a stat, and we'll talk about players in more detail. But I've just seen a stat that Kevin Danso made 18 clearances today, which is the most of any Spurs player in a game since 2016, Jan Vertonghen. I mean, it shows that we've got solidity. It shows that we're building from the back, right?
I love Kevin Danza. I know he's not your first choice. I know that when Romero's fit, he will be straight back in. But just as a defender, just someone who defends, I absolutely love Kevin Danzo. And you're right, we're building from the back. I think you told me earlier, second best defensive record in the Premier League. Only Arsenal have a better record. It's not bad, is it, for a team that apparently are not playing good football. So, listen, defensively, we look solid.
Yeah, it's. Do you know what? We'll talk about Danso later, but I agree with you. I feel like there's so many that, oh my God, Romero's out. Panic. I think Kevin Danso, and Danny always says this, so big up to Danny. Danny always says this. He said, if you want the player that gives you the better performance every now and then, at that level, Romero's your guy. If you want that consistent 7 out of 10 each week, Danso is just consistent. He does what it says on the tin. He's a centre back. He's old school. He gets his head on the ball, blocks everything. He's strong as an ox. I think it's about time our fan base started giving a little bit of credit to people like Kevin Danso. It wasn't the sexy signing. Has had to wait his turn, but he's doing a really good job. Hey, that's just me, Nigel. We'll get into the game in a minute. We'll look at the teams. Before we do, let's look at the Premier League table. Let's start with some positives. Apparently, I've gone from being the most negative YouTube channel to now I'm too positive, apparently. But hey, it is what it is. Nige, there's the Premier League table. Now we're going to talk about it. about the drama. We're going to talk about the drama because every WhatsApp group I'm in, by the way, I think it's like one. Whenever I'm chatting to people on YouTube, I'm constantly saying, what's the drama? And Nige, look, when you look at this, right, third in the table after 9 games, what, we're a quarter of the season in, just give or take 45 minutes, we're quarter of the season in. We are the top goal scorers in the league, along with Man City and Chelsea. We've got the second best defence in the country. Only Arsenal have conceded less. Only Bournemouth and Arsenal have lost less games than Tottenham Hotspur. Right? We've got 4 clean sheets from 9 games. So, I mean, nearly every other game at the moment is a clean sheet. What is the, from your point of view, Nige, when you look at this table, like above Man City, above United, above Liverpool, above Chelsea, above Palace, above Newcastle, where is the so-called drama that I keep seeing all these YouTube shows talking about? Frank's got to change it and sort it out.
I just don't get it. I've said it myself. I'm at peace where Spurs are. You know, I know what we are. I know we are building. This isn't going to happen overnight. Been saying it from the start. Frank isn't going to come in, flick his fingers, wave a magic wand, and Spurs are going to be winning leagues. But if anyone has said to me after 9 games, we're going to be above Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Newcastle, I would have said, thank you very much. I'll take that all day long. I think Frank has done a fantastic job with what he has. You got to remember, we have, and again, people don't like to use injuries as an excuse. 10 injuries, 10 injuries, and out of those 10 injuries, probably 6 of those players walk straight into the first team. So Frank, I think, is doing. I don't see where the drama is. It's because the football isn't sexy, but the football wasn't sexy last season. So I don't get it.
I was talking about this yesterday, Nigel. We'll come back to that table in a minute. I was talking about this yesterday. I don't know one who does play sexy football. Like I keep hearing this sexy football, but whenever I'm watching Premier League games and Premier League highlights, I'm not really entertained by it. There's no one I'm watching and going, cool. Look at like Man City, the treble winning team. You go, God, look, that's nice to watch. Liverpool under Klopp at times. Even, dare I say it, one of the years, a couple of years ago under Arteta, I was like, wow, Arsenal are sexy to watch. Right now, I'm not looking at anyone and going, cool. I wish we played exactly like them. But let me ask you this. Frank keeps, I keep saying that Frank's told us what he's doing, but I feel like we've got half the fan base that refuse to listen or don't want to, Nige. And what I mean by that is he comes out every press conference and he's saying, look, he says, togetherness, solid at the back, be a unit, work together, be combative, and build foundations. But our fans are, oh, I'm bored. Let the man build the foundations, right? Isn't that fair?
It's just, I think it's just society now, isn't it? It's a win now mentality. Win now or you're not good enough.
Yeah.
You know, a manager comes in, he has to have time to build. He has to have time to work out what players he needs, what positions he needs. And Frank has come in, and let's be honest, he's come from Brentford, a side that usually play once a week. So he's on the training ground with them every week between Monday and Saturday or Sunday and Saturday, whenever. He's now at Spurs, who are playing twice a week, every week. He's not had a chance to get on the training ground with them. He's doing the best he can with what he has. And yeah, I don't get it. Give him time. You know, and the thing is, I want to say, oh, if we're doing this next season, then fine. But if we're doing this next season, we're still in the top 3, right? So I don't see what the issue is.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm having the chat a lot with the Spurs 5 lot about, well, why can't we replicate this at home? But I've maintained since the summer, I don't think we are that ball possession team. I don't think, and at home, I think people expect you as the home team to dominate possession, have a lot of the ball. And for me, I think you need certain players for that. I think you need those types of players that are all very comfortable and want the ball. I don't think that's the squad we've compiled, Nige. I think when you look at it, Bentancur and Paulinho are combative, both brilliant today, by the way. We'll talk about them later, but both combative, strong midfielders. Kudus is very much a runner with the ball. You know, Simmons wants to, I know it hasn't quite taken off for him yet, but Simmons wants to be on the half turn and play balls through the channels quickly. When you look at that, I don't know why people are expecting us to be this really good ball playing team that keep possession. I mean, what do you make of this need for that style?
I think we were sold a dream with our last manager. I don't want to keep talking about him too much, but we were sold a dream that we would play this attacking, expansive football that was beautiful to watch, which, to be fair, for probably 10 games it was. And then we got what it actually turned out to be. I don't know, as Spurs fans, maybe we expect to play in a certain way. I think there's that old saying. But let's be honest, unless you're probably my age, I won't say your age, Savva, but unless you're my age, you didn't see great football. You know, great football was in the 80s. We played great football in the 80s. We played great football in the early 90s. But apart from that, really under Potts, we haven't played great football. Really under Redknapp as well, maybe. But yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I think we're doing a decent job. And didn't today sum up where Spurs are? 2 set-piece goals and then a counter-attacking goal to finish it off.
But there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, don't get me wrong, Nige. If you said to me, if you put a gun to my head and said, what football do you want to see at all costs? Yeah, I want to watch Pep Guardiola's Barcelona. Like, yeah, I want to watch Xavi and Iniesta. And yeah, I also know that they're not the players we've got. Now, you brought up something really interesting there. Like my favourite football I think I've seen for decades at Spurs was Harry Redknapp. I know some people will say Poch. Not saying Poch's was bad, but I liked Redknapp's. But the one thing you look at in that Redknapp team, right? When you look at the midfield two of Modric and a Huddleston, for example, and then Van der Vaart, you're looking at players, all three of them good on the ball. All three of them want the ball. All three of them passing, and they're excellent passing. All three of them drop into space and dictate. I always say, if you want to play that football, sign those players, right? I don't think this is rocket science.
Exactly. No, exactly. And, you know, we've got the players we've got. We've got players that play combative football and on the counter-attack. We haven't got a side that keep the ball. And the players that we have got that do keep the ball are currently out injured anyway. So we have what we have. And is Frank that kind of manager? I don't know. Is he a possession-based manager? I'm not sure he is. But does that matter? You know, and the thing is, we've always had it as Spurs fans, haven't we? Under Conte, a lot of the fans were like, "I just want winning football." You know, we tried Poch, didn't work. I want winning football. That's great when we were winning. Since we started losing, it started to change. And I think this is what we're getting already with Frank. You know, fans are just waiting for us to lose, and as soon as we lose, it's our boring football.
Yeah,
you know, it's.
No, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Look, as I said, I'm not sitting here going, oh my gosh, this is my favourite style of play. But at the end of the day, when you're getting results, and if we're going to turn around and really question Thomas Frank, what does it say for the rest of the people below us? Like, let's be brutal. But by the way, I'm not getting carried away. Look, the league table will sort itself out after the first, I would say, 16 to 20 games. We'll know, right? Do I expect Sunderland to still be up there after that game? I don't. Not being rude, brilliant start. But we've seen this before, Nige. I remember Blackpool came up that year and they started absolutely like a house on fire. And people started going, could Blackpool get Europe? No, because it's a long season. And something my mum always used to say to me, cream rises to the top. Right? And what we're slowly seeing, actually, if I bring that up again, what we're slowly seeing is Man United now just starting to get into gear. Aston Villa just starting to get into gear, right? Before you know it, that top 6 or 7 won't have Bournemouth. It won't have Sunderland. It will be the Spurs, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, United, Arsenal. It will be. And then I expect Newcastle to join that as well. Is that fair? Or
yeah, I would say that top 9 that's there now, you'd expect 7 of them to be there after 20 games. and the Sunderlands and the Bournemouths have dropped down. We had it with Forest last year, didn't we? They started well, and by the end, they just dropped off at the end. And I know they got into Europe, but it wasn't, they were up there with Champions League place, weren't they, for a long time. So the cream does rise to the top. I'd expect Newcastle to get better. I'd expect Chelsea to get better. But the thing is, this season's a weird season. Arsenal are never going to have a better chance to win the league because everyone else are beating each other.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, it's one of those things. Look, I'm not like, if Arsenal win the league, they win the league. There's nothing we can do about it, right? Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, we're going to hear about it forever. But let's be fair, we're not there. We're not, there are rivals in name, there are rivals in location. But let's be brutally honest. At the start of the season, I didn't see anyone going, we should be fighting Arsenal for a Premier League title. And by the way, I was looking at the stats. Everyone having a go at the way Frank plays. Have you seen Arsenal have scored 9 set pieces this year?
Okay.
They've got the highest percentage of set piece goals. Right. So hang on. Here we go. Set piece goals. Tottenham. Here we go. Last season, we ranked 12th. This season, last season we ranked 12th for scored set pieces. This season we're ranked 3rd. Yeah. Right. And conceded last season 15 from set pieces, which was 18th in the rank. This season we've conceded 1. We're 1st. We're the best team in the Premier League at defending set pieces.
And it showed today.
Mad.
Didn't it? It showed today the amount of balls that Everton chucked into the box, and usually we'd crumble. I know they scored from a set piece that was disallowed, but they were chucking ball. How many corners did they have? They had loads of corners, and every single one. Bentoncourt today, I'm sure we'll talk about it, was absolutely fantastic. Then this is why this one main reasons for me he's in the team defensively for his headers. Brilliant today.
Do you know the funny thing is? All I've heard from Spurs fans for the last 3-4 weeks is Bentoncourt's the problem. Bentoncourt's the problem. When I watch Tottenham, not one bit of me says that's the reason why we don't win loads and loads more games. I look and think it's going forward. Like it's going forward where we lack. Like there were times today where like Xavi Simons, if he'd made the right pass, we're through on goal. Richarlison through on goal. And I don't think anybody in the country thought that was actually going to ripple the back of the net, did we? But there's just little things. There's little things that you think going forward is the issue. But for me, I think it's a nice, solid midfield. Paulinho and Bentoncourt for me works. I don't see this constant need where everyone says it's got to be changed. I don't know why.
I haven't got a problem with it at all. I think the problem that Frank has is that he is trying to get Xavi into the side in that number 10 position. And I think for me, that's making maybe the midfield look weaker because for me, Xavi Simons just hasn't quite hit it yet. For whatever reason, I don't know if it's a confidence thing. He looked thoroughly annoyed to be taken off today, by the way. But I think with Frank trying to get him into that number 10, I do think it makes that double pivot look a little bit weaker. And I said me and Cookie did a watch along earlier, and I said on his show that I actually think Frank has taken away from some of the defensive work by going more attacking, by putting Xavi in that 10, by putting Johnson wherever he put him. It did open us a little bit up defensively instead of playing, because I thought he would play Sarr and have just a really strong competitive midfield. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the issue is with Bentoncourt and Paulinho. I think they're fantastic together.
Agreed. I just don't get it. And look, we'll go through the players one by one in a minute. But let's look at the game. When the game started, lots of people, as usual, team news came out, absolute meltdown. Brennan Johnson's playing, and don't get me wrong, Nigel. I don't really want to see Brennan Johnson in the team. But then again, I don't think Odegaard's any good. I don't think Richie's any good. And I don't think Tell's any good. So with that one position in the team, I'm kind of like, what's the best of whatever, right? We pick pick out of a hat. But
Yeah.
everyone was losing their mind. And then he didn't actually do what we thought. We didn't put Johnson on the left and Kudus on the right. It was more of a Johnson on the right with Kudus slightly tucked in and almost doubling up on the right-hand side and floating into the middle. What did you make of that?
Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird, just like formation to start with, because like you say, when the team news come out, I actually thought it was the best that we could pick, the strongest we could pick. Everyone's been clamoring for Mawani, so I was happy with that. Johnson playing here is what it is. At least he scores goals. So yeah, when they kicked off, and it's like, is Johnson out on the right? Because like you say, Kudus was out there as well. It was almost like they were playing Porro, Kudus, and Johnson out on the right, but Kudus kept coming in, didn't he? And it's almost like he was floating around a little bit. And yeah, it was brave from Frank, to be fair, because I think he surprised Everton a little bit with that one.
Yeah, I think he surprised. I think he surprised a lot of people. It's interesting because the problem that we've got is I see people all the time talking about go to a back three, go to a two up front, go to two behind the top man. My feeling has always been we can play whatever formation we want. Unfortunately, the Richies, the Johnsons, the Tells, the Oda, but they're not good enough. I don't think that's a tactical thing, but I know it's not a tactical thing. I've seen these players enough now to know that they're just not those. They're just not good enough. So it does put a lot of emphasis on Kudus, and you can see. I think that Kudus is starting to look a bit tired, where we're having to play him for every game. But look, I think that he's trying things. He's played 3 at the back this season. He's played 4 at the back. He's played 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. He did what he did today. He's tried different players on the left, different players up front. But still, every game you hear he's not adapting, he's not changing. But clearly, there isn't a best 11, right? Clearly, we've seen this season there isn't a best 11. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think he's kind of got his back 7, maybe. Maybe a doggy when a doggy's fit, I'd probably think he comes in at left back. But I think he's got his 7 that he likes, with obviously with Bentancur and Polinia, and then Kudus. I think really apart from that, I think it could be any one of 3 or 4. It's those forward areas where he's really struggling to get those combinations right to make things work. But you're absolutely right. He does change things. He does tactically tweak things during games. And what he did today, like I said, surprised everyone, surprised us, surprised Everton. And yeah, like brilliant management. I think he's really clued up on what he's doing.
I agree. And the thing that makes me laugh is we saw him do this at Brentford, by the way. When he first went to Brentford, he didn't go there and it was like, bah, they're amazing. They took time to get used to him. He didn't set the world on fire. And then slowly but surely, you could see his forward line started to play in his mold. Right now, I said this yesterday, if Spurs' forward line was Man United's, if we had Cunha and Mbuemo instead of having Tell and Richarlison and Johnson and Odegaard, we'd be ripping teams apart because on the transition, we'd look frightening. Problem is, when we get to transition, we don't have those players that can open people up. That's my belief anyway. It's not a big drama. That's my belief.
No, I agree totally. And you even saw it today when Richarlison come on. A couple of times, Spurs were like, okay, what are we going to do? We can't play it. We can't play out here. We're going to have to hit it long. As soon as it goes long, bounces off Richarlison, Everton get the ball back. I think Spurs at the moment, and Frank is kind of in a situation where he's really struggling to get the way he wants to play going, simply because he hasn't got the players where he needs them. If we had an Ivan Toney up front who could hold the ball up, and I think Mawani did it a bit today, but if we had that player who could hold the ball up, bring players into the game, we would see a lot more from Xavi Simons, because Xavi playing in that hole and in that number 10, if the ball's just going up to Richarlison or a striker and it's just bouncing straight back, then Xavi might as well not be there, because he's just not getting in the game for whatever reason. So, yeah, I just think the sooner Frank gets his players in, the better for Spurs. And, we're
Yeah,
seeing massive difference.
and that's why I want to see. I don't know whether I'm expecting January. I always think January's. I think if you pull off a really good move in January, fair play to the football club. But I think it's going to be a tough one. I truly believe, though, that I think we're 2 or 3 away from being a really top team. Right now, I think we're a really hard to beat team. We're battling. We're combative. We're never say die attitude, sure. But to be a really good team to on the eye, in a transition, I think the top centre forward, a top left winger, and a ball playing midfielder, I just think it changes us, Nige, completely. And I know it's only 3 positions, but it's 3 very important positions, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think 3 positions make us a really, really strong team. I think we're probably still 6 or 7 short of a strong squad. But I actually think one player currently, I think if we get that top striker, and Moani may be that man, who knows? I think he did some good things today. But if we were to bring in that top striker, I think we will see a difference. Just someone who can bring others into the game. Set pieces are important to Spurs and Frank. And I know people hate it because Spurs apparently have to play beautiful football and walk the ball into the net. But set pieces are really important. Teams win leagues with set pieces. So,
Arsenal
and
about to win the league
yeah,
with set
yeah.
pieces. So yeah.
And Spurs are great at set pieces this season, at attacking them and defending them. So I think we're actually, I agree. 3 players short of a really good team, but even if we got 1 in January, I think that improves us no end.
No, I completely agree. But also, what I find really interesting about everything is everyone expects everything to be fixed overnight. I find it hilarious. They want him to fix the midfield and the defense and the forward line and the set pieces and the home form and the away. It's like the guy must be sitting there going, "I've been here 3 months. Like I've
Yeah.
I've been here 3 months. I've made you bloody difficult to beat, and the fans are still moan. Right? Listen, there are players that I don't think should be at Tottenham. There are many of them that I don't think should be at Tottenham. I am surprised we've even won 5 Premier League games with these players. For that, I tip my hat to Thomas Frank. I do, because we've scored that many goals.
Yeah.
And I'll ask this: out of Tell, he's got 1 Premier League goal. Odegaard hasn't got 1 Premier League goal. Simmons has not got 1 Premier League goal. Kudus has got 1 Premier League. Like, you know what I mean? So imagine we had some forwards that score goals. We'd be a
Exactly.
team.
Yeah, it's scary. Like you say, 17 Premier League goals, which is what, the most in the Premier League for a team that are rubbish attacking. It's not bad, is it? So,
Yeah.
a lot. I know.
17.
Yeah, I
And,
know a
and,
lot of
and by the
people are
way,
like, oh, but
only Arsenal have a better goal difference than us. Like,
it's crazy.
honestly, I feel that we're at the stage, Nige, where it's almost like people feel that it's wrong to be happy about anything. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'm not saying
yeah.
it. I'm not saying anyone has to go, "Oh, the football's scintillating." But if I had said after 9 games, there's your league table, everyone would have told me to shut up, Nige, and said, "Don't be stupid."
Yeah, great. I mean, what was said at the start of the season when Frank come in? Oh, he needs to start first 10 games needs to be like the last manager. We're not doing bad. We're up there or thereabouts. And this is, a manager who's renowned for starting slowly at every club he's been at. If
Mm,
this is starting slowly, I'll take it all day long. Thank you very
yeah.
much.
Don't get me wrong, Nigel. I'm not sitting here saying end of the season we're going to be third. I don't think we will. It's a long season. We're going to have this. I mean, look, we just played what? Villa, Monaco, Everton, Newcastle, Chelsea. Like, it's just Copenhagen. It's just
I know.
non-stop games. There will be difficult spells where we lose 3 or 4 in a row, probably. But our fans can't even stomach. But by the way, right now, if I'm not wrong, I think it's 1 defeat in 10 in all
Yeah,
competitions. Let me double check. I
you could be
think
right
it's
there.
let's have a look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 defeat in 10. the second best defense in the league, the most goals in the league, the best away record in the league. I genuinely thought our fan base should be like, yeah, this is more like it. Nope. No.
It just feels like excuses, doesn't it, by some fans? It's like, oh yeah, but 6 of the goals were deflections and 5 of them were own goals, so they don't count. It's just like, come on, give
Yeah.
us some credit. We're doing okay. We're not putting up any trees. We're not, like you say, we're not winning any leagues, but we're doing all right under this manager. And for me, there's exciting times ahead because everything that's going on at boardroom level. Levy's gone. I think there's so much to look forward to at Spurs.
Mm. No, I've got. Do you know what's a great point, Nigel? Before we get into the players for today, it's a great point. Not only is there a new manager and a brand new coaching staff, by the way, we got to credit, whether that was Levy or Vinay, whoever did that, credit to that, because we went out and spent £10 million on bringing in a manager and all of his coach room staff. And Brentford wanted to actually keep Cochrane to be their manager. So we managed to get him as well. Brand new manager, brand new coaching staff, brand new director of football, brand new in brackets, a new performance director, a new CEO or non-exec CEO. Daniel Levy's gone. We're third in the league, best away form, second best defense, first best attack. I would say that's a pretty successful 3 or 4 months, isn't it? Mental.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, there's absolutely nothing to complain about at the moment. Of course, as fans, we're going to critique. You've got to critique games. Wednesday night, bloody awful against Monaco. But again, without going too much into European football, let's be honest, we've not been good in Europe for a long time. Even though we won the Europa League, away form is pretty atrocious. Really, we've lost a lot of games to a lot of average sides. So European away form doesn't really concern me too much. I don't really read too much into it. It's all about the Premier League for me. And you know what? He's come in. He's done a good job. He's steadied the ship. Got to remember, we finished 17th last year. I seem to forget about that. 17th. And now we're third.
And by the way, Rooty Toot, yeah. We're going to talk about this later, but I've just seen this comment. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. We were told he wasn't very good in the air, and now he seems to be a beast. Let's look at the players, Nige. We'll go through them one by one and have a little chat and see what let's get the chat involved. Just before we do, I'll just do a couple of super chats if that's all right. And if one of my mods could put Nige put Pure Coys link into the chat, that would be amazing. And thank you to the Stream Elements chatbot, reminding people they can buy me a coffee. Thank you, computer-generated chatbot. Thank you. Big up to Gerald Goldsmith, very generous. Says Thomas the Frank Engine rolls on. Yeah, great win. Gerald, yes. I've never known so many negative comments, Gerald, after a 3-0 away win. Honestly, I've never known anything like it. Anything. Big up to you, Gerald. You are very generous to me. So thank you very much for that, my man. Thank you very much. Cookie is in the house. He's been a member. He's nearly at his 2nd birthday. Thank you very much, Mark. Says, do me a favor in the chat. Smash a sub to Nige over at Pure Coys. I completely agree with this. Let's get him to 1,500 tonight. Smash one for Savva too. No, I don't want to be an afterthought, Mark. Don't worry about me. Let's just get Nige. Let's get Nige, to where he wants to be. Great show, chaps. Thank you very much, Mark. Love you to bits, dude. Thank you very much. Ledley's knees. Oof. I'm seeing people develop standards this season that were missing last season as Spurs lost game after game in the league. Then there were excuses. Look, I don't want to harp on about last season, but this guy, Ledley's knees, is correct. It seemed like last season there was an excuse for everything. Right now, we've got 10 injuries, right? But we're third in the table. And this goes back to my point. When people were saying we've got injuries, sure, when you've got injuries, make yourself hard to beat. Ange could have done this. Make yourself hard to beat. But he didn't. But hey, it is what it is. Big up Ledley's knees. Really appreciate you. Machina Joe, who's an Everton fan, big up to you, Machina, said Moyes is rubbish, Savva. Well, look, Moyes isn't rubbish. I mean, Moyes has been a very good Premier League manager for 2 decades. Has it been maybe 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Machina Joe, when you're saying Moyes is rubbish, come on, man. it all depends on what you're talking about. Is he the guy you want to go to a big club and win you things? Probably not. But where he picked you up from, he has sorted you lot right out. And this, I'm going to say it. I love you to bits, dude. No, you're always in my chat. You're very generous to me. This is the problem with football fans. David Moyes picked you lot up in an absolute shambolic mess and sorted you out. And you've not started this season too shabby. And now he's rubbish. I mean, it's be careful what you wish for. Be very careful what you wish for. Yeah, ask Forest. Big up to you, Machina Joe. Big up to Destiny 5. Said, Savva, where's my dinner, my winner's dance you promised? I don't dance, Destiny. I don't dance. Come on, you know this, man. You know this, but thank you very much. Big up to Andy Lester. Said, 2 top creators. I'm a member of both. Big up, Andy. Much love. And once again, happy congratulations. He got married yesterday. I don't know what I was going to say happy anniversary. It's not that. Well done on getting married yesterday, or commiserations, depending if your other half is watching or not. So big up to you, Andy. Thank you for everything you do on my channel. Let's start with the players. I mean, Vicario, I've been very critical of this man. And it feels like since he started getting a lot more critique a few weeks back, seems almost like he's taken it. I'm not saying my critique, but seems like he's turned it around a bit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I've been the same. I've been very critical of him. I've been the first to say I want him replaced in the summer. He's not good enough. Not good enough with his feet, not good enough claiming crosses. Even not good enough at his shot stopping, which he was really, this is what we loved him for, is his shot stopping. But got to say, the last 2 games, he has been absolutely fantastic. Couple of really good saves today, and a couple of times today and Wednesday night as well. Actually came out and claimed the ball a few times as well. So, yeah, a lot better the last 2 performances. And like anything, as YouTubers, if a player's poor, you're going to critique. If a player plays well, you're going to give him credit. So fair play to him.
Do you know what? Do you know what he is? He is one of those, when you say like there's strikers that they're better when they don't have time to think, just instinctive in front of goal. But when they're bearing down on goal, like, I don't want to use Richarlison because I think he's poor at everything, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
I think he's the goalkeeping version of that. I think when everything happens very quickly, I think he's excellent. The shot stop, for me, I think it's when he's seeing shots from 20 yards and he's got time to think. When he's seeing crosses floated in and he's got time to think. But he was outstanding against Monaco. And again, today, some very good saves, Nigel. He made some great saves, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, world class even. I mean, I'd say at least 2 against Monaco, world class. And that one that he saved from close range today, absolutely brilliant save. I mean, it was kind of straight at him, but the way he had to move, such a good save.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was a fantastic save. And look, there are things that frustrate me with him. I'm not going to lie. I can't change my mind in 2 games. Corners, set pieces, a little bit. I feel a little bit he flaps. But listen, today and Wednesday, fair play to the lads. Absolutely superb. And he got us out of trouble quite a lot. So. This is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Now, this is a guy that I think's had a poor season by his standards, Pedro Porro. What do you make of Porro today and this season?
Porro has been another one that I have got a bit of a bee in my bonnet about. I think, yes, he's fantastic going forward. Very creative, puts a good ball in the box, has a good shot on him. But for me, defensively, really, really poor. And, I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, but he's not a right back, he's a wing back. Yeah, we don't play wing backs, so
he is a right
back. Yeah, and he's not good enough. But again, to be fair today, I thought it was an interesting matchup with him and Grealish. And I thought for the most part, he did okay. He handled him pretty well. I mean, Grealish is top player, but I thought he did okay today.
Yeah, I find it really, really interesting. Oh, sorry, someone's on Sky Sports, and I was thinking, I know that face. And then it came up at the bottom, Des Walker, and I was like, oh gosh, Remember, you'll never beat Des Walker. What a player he was.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
sorry, yeah. Porro for me, yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because we hear a lot, don't we? We hear a lot that he's not a right back. Well, for the last 3 years, he's played at right back. So the last kind of 100, 150 games of his career and for Spain have been at right back. I've not been impressed with him all season. I'm not going to lie. Again, I thought he did okay today. Grealish, you're right. Grealish is a horrible player to play against because he draws you in. And for a player that hasn't really got any pace, he's got this really good knack of getting the ball past players. He really has. He's a very talented lad. But the cross for the goal was superb, wasn't it? The cross for the cross to Richie to Sarr, right? Was brilliant. And the
again,
corner.
and that's why you have him inside, right? Because yes, defensively he's not the best, but he does create. And whereas again, like you, he frustrates the hell out of me at times. Some of his clearances, I think he's just a bit too casual sometimes for me, defensively. But he's in the side for those moments, the cross for the goals, which were brilliant.
Do you know what I find with him? He clearly a very, very. I don't think he's a great defender at all, but I think he's a very good footballer. Like I think he's technically very good. What I do think is sometimes he tries to play too many of these little dink passes, and I think if you try it too much, you're going to keep giving the ball away. But when he gets time like that on the right wing to cross, like he's got a wonderful cross. And I mean, the corner was right on the money as well for Mickey van der Ven. And I'm guessing that's why he plays every week. And Udogie and Spence rotate, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and he's always fit as well, right? He never gets injured. Touch wood. He never seems to be injured. So
you don't have to. I'll buy you a £1,000 coffee. Okay, go on then. No, joking. No, don't. You don't need to buy me a £1,000 coffee. If you've got £1,000 spare, put it to charity or something, my man. Yeah, let's move inside then. Actually, before we go to the centre backs, Jed Spence, interesting game. I felt like this was a game I didn't really notice him too much. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. What did you make of Jed?
I actually thought it was I thought he did okay. Again, I thought it's maybe not one of Jed's better games. I must admit, I am very fixated now on the fact that Rio Ferdinand said he's one of the best one-on-one defenders in the Premier League. So I just don't ever expect him to get skinned. And I think Ndai skinned him a couple of times in that first half.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was a bit surprised. But yeah, I thought he did okay. He did okay again. Nothing special, but problem is going forward with Spence.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What you do realise is I'm in two ways about players who play on the wrong side. And what I mean is like righties on the left and lefties on the right. I've got no problem with a defender defending the wrong foot, a left back. But where we really notice it is when he goes forward, the number of times he's bursting down that wing and you're thinking, keep going, keep going. You've got loads of grass to run into, but you can see he's not confident on the left to keep going and whipping it. Is he? He constantly wants to stop. And you know who he reminds me of a little bit in a funny kind of way? Do you remember YP Lee?
Oh, yeah.
Remember the left back we had who was a right-footed? Did exactly the same thing. He'd drive with a ball, get to the halfway line, and he'd go, oh, shit, stop. 5-yard pass on his right foot. That is always going to be a problem with a righty on the left, right?
Yeah, and this is, I love Spence to bits. I think he's, probably one of our better defenders now. But I do think we are much more fluid when Udogie plays left back. And, when Udogie's fit, that overlapping, I think it gets more out of Xavi Simons as well. Because I think, like you say, Spence kind of seems to stop, look to come inside. It's almost like they get into each other's way sometimes, because you do find that Xavi kind of drifts to the left anyway, even though he was playing in 10, he kind of drifts to the left.
Yeah.
And they kind of bunch up and get into each other's way a bit.
Yeah. No, no, no. I agree. I listen. There's not really a lot I can say that Jed did bad today.
Mm.
I thought it did show how good Undai was. He's a. I
Yeah,
don't.
good
Not
player.
being rude, I don't think he'll be at Everton for too many seasons. I think he's a very, very good footballer, isn't I? So we'll see what happens there. But let's move to let's start with Danso. We talked a tiny bit about him. Does Danso get the credit he deserves?
I don't think so. It's difficult, isn't it? It's like anyone. It's like when we had Kane up front. You know, whoever was going to follow him was never quite gonna be the same. Never gonna quite get the same adulations as Kane got. I'm not obviously suggesting that Romero was in the same class as Kane, but Romero is our captain, and I guess when he's out, everyone thinks, like you said earlier, oh my God, Romero's out. Romero's out. What we're gonna do? Danzo comes in. He does his job. He defends. He wins 99% of his headers. He's actually not a bad passer of the ball as well. And he doesn't give the ball away very often. He's strong as an ox. And I absolutely love him. And you know what he has as well? That long throw, which I never thought I'd say it. As a Spurs fan, used to watch Stoke City and think they were horrific to watch. But I love it when Spurs get a throw now. It's like Deadly Danzo. Go on, Stan. Because you know something's going to happen. You're on mute, mate.
Why on earth did I go on to mute? God knows. Sorry about that. I was just saying, I think it's really funny because I see a lot of negative connotations. A long throw. A corner. I think have as many strings to your bow as possible. Have as many strings to your bow as possible. If you can score from open play, great. If you can score from corners, great. If you can score from a throw in, great. Why would you not want to be good at these things? And more than anything, Nige, you think from the defender's point of view, they're like, oh, fucking hell, there's another long throw coming here. They're like corners. I
Yeah.
think it's a positive.
Effectively, they are corners, aren't they? You know, anything in and around that 18-yard box, we are a danger. It gives your centre backs a chance to get up and attack as well. And what's the other option? We play a short throw into Odebell or to Towell or to Johnson, and we all know what probably happens then. So I think this long throw from Danzo is absolutely brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, I've got nothing wrong. As I said at the beginning of the show, I just think no part of me watches Spurs line up with Danso and goes, oh, I'm really worried at the back today. Sometimes you go, oh, Ben Davies is in there, and is he ready for that powerful battle? Can he run quick? Danso, for me, he does what he says on the tin. You've got the pace and the agility of Van der Ven. And Danso will do all of the old school defender stuff. He will throw his body on the line. He will jockey the centre forward. He will header the ball. He will, and I think at 25 million, was it?
Something like
I
that,
think
yeah.
that's a great bit of business from Tottenham. I don't often praise Spurs in the market, but I thought that was a
Yeah.
great bit of business.
And he doesn't do stupid things either. I mean, I say that in the next game he probably will, but he doesn't do those things. You know, when a defender gets beaten, he got beat today. I think I think that Beto got the better of him once and got in front of him. He didn't do what other defenders would do and like bring him down or pull him back or anything. You know, if he's been beaten, he would accept it. He would chase back, but he doesn't give away stupid free kicks for no reason. You know, so many of our other defenders do that, just give away free kicks for absolutely no reason. He always stands up. He never jumps in. Yeah, quality signing, like Joshua said, absolute quality.
Um, Look, I'm a huge fan. So somebody just sent me something about Dan. So it was earlier. He also won 100% of his duels and didn't commit a single foul today. So he had 18 clearances, which is the most of any Spurs defender for 10 years, and won all his duels and didn't commit a foul. I mean, I think he's a very good player. Listen, obviously,
Yeah,
I know
great.
Romero is going to come straight back into the team, but I think there's merit in even when they're all fit, getting Danso in for games. I think he wants that fight. And let's be fair, the two
Great.
centre forwards he played against today, Beto and Tierno Barry. They're big, powerful lads, aren't they? And I thought, just brilliant, brilliant. But
Yeah, agreed.
hey, it is what it is. And it's got me not worried about how long is Romero out for. Because I'm not one of these that one game Danso's good, the next game he's shit. I think Danso is a solid Premier League defender. That's, no bells and whistles, just gets on with it.
Yeah.
But Mickey, Captain Van der Ven, I'll be honest, Nigel, in the summer, the one thing I said after seeing Mickey Van der Ven for 2 years at Spurs was, how good a defender is he? Because for 2 years, what we've seen is, yeah, we know you're the quickest player in the league. We know that you'll catch anybody up and make a recovery tackle. But in a back four that plays as a back four, how good a defender are you? And he's been, for me, our best defender. And I think he's magnificent.
Yeah, I think he's been so far. I know it's only 9 games in, but I think he's been our player of the season. I think he's been absolutely brilliant. I think he defends well. He reads the game. Like a lot was said about his heading. Can he head the ball? He can't head it clear. He's poor when crosses come in. I think he's been fantastic. Yes, listen, he has got something in him where he does switch off from time to time at crosses, and he gets, him and Romero, they'd always get a player in between them. We conceded quite a few goals like that last season. But for me, Van der Ven, I think he's our best player. I think he's my favourite player. And I actually think, I don't know whether this is a hot take or not, I think he should be our captain because he is constantly talking. If you watch him every game he's playing, constantly shouting, constantly talking. And I would prefer him as captain than Romero personally.
I think it's great that we got the option, right? I think it's great that we got the option. And by the way, the person who just said to me, what's this about Danso being better than Kuti? You've got to listen to what's being said. That isn't what was said at all. If you actually listened, I don't like it when people do that, because what happens is, Nigel, they go to another show and go, "Oh, Savva's on his show saying that Danso's better than Romero," and it's like, "Well, hang on, what did I actually say?" But look, you're right. Mickey for me has really stepped up to the plate and consistently, and this is a big thing for me. This isn't with Spurs, by the way. This is all footballers. I don't like it. I don't like players that you go, oh my God, he's brilliant. And then they do nothing for 3 or 4 weeks. And then they have a brilliant game again.
Yeah.
Before I praise players to that level, I like to see consistency. I like to see you've done it over a number of games, number of months, number of years. If you're going world class, But Mickey, for me, this season has been our best defender. He puts his body on the line. He's not picked up an injury yet. Let's be fair. This is a guy that for the last, fingers crossed, he's not picked up an injury yet. And he's showing all of the capabilities of a good leader as well. So it only bodes well for us. And I'm sure that his price tag in the market will be going.
Oh, God, yeah.
Up
Do you know what?
up.
Yeah, one of the other things I really like about him is when he gets the ball, he always moves the ball quickly. He doesn't, Romero will hold the ball a little bit too long for me. I know he's trying to, draw people in. But when Van der Ven gets the ball, he's always quick to pass it out wide and he's always crisp. I know he did one pass, it was slightly under hit today, but usually it's crisp out to his fullback. So, it's always starts us moving quickly. And I love that about Van der Ven.
Do you know what? Spot on. My one criticism, it's not one. My biggest criticism of Romero, right, is when that boy's passing is on, hits top draw. Yeah. For me, though, so many times he gets the ball at centre half and he holds on to it and he holds on to it and he holds on to it. And I'm like, move it. You're absolutely right. What Mickey did brilliantly today, same with Danso. Danso got it straight to Porro. Mickey got it straight to Spence. And it gets you out and gets you moving. For me, Romero waits too long for the Hollywood pass. And when it comes off, nothing better. But when it doesn't, all you've done is slow the game down and allowed the other team to get back into their defensive shape. But at the moment, Romero, Van der Ven, and Danso, Dragusin to come back. By the way, I think he'll be a lot better under Frank. I think you'll see he is not a bloke that should be playing on the halfway line on a high line. So
No, no.
I think we're all right at centre half, aren't we? You got Vuskovic out on loan, Phillips out on loan. I think we're all right for the future there, aren't we?
Yeah, we got Takai as well. We've not seen anything
Right.
of yet, so I know
Ben
absolutely
Davis.
nothing about him. Ben, of course, yeah, Big Ben. Yeah, I mean, defensively, I think we're pretty set. I think as fans, we always want a little bit more, don't we? It'd always be nice to have another centre half, but I think Vuskovic, I think this is probably his last loan. I think he comes back into the Spurs team next season and becomes part of the first team. So yeah, I think we're all right defensively.
Yeah, yeah. Again. No, you're not listening. You're not listening. This is what I love about YouTube, Nige. Listen to what we were saying. He said Romero's the best passer of a ball probably at the club. What we're saying is sometimes you just want to get the ball out quickly, get it and give it. It's not about, oh my God, they passed it 10 yards to their fullback. It's just about getting it out, and going. Got to listen. You got to. I feel like my mic. This is not a magic microphone. It does not change what I say. But yeah, listen, I thought both of them today. Obviously, the 2 goals help with Mickey van der Ven getting man of the match, but
Yeah.
a couple of big contenders for that, and Danso was definitely one. So listen, a brilliant performance from those two today. It's fair to say.
Yeah, agreed. Working really well as a pair as well now. And yeah, I just think defensively, on the whole, I know we did concede that obviously it was disallowed, but I think Everton chucked in a lot of crosses today, and we defended
Right.
them really well, chucked our body in the way of the ball. I know we'll talk about the 2 midfielders in a minute, but I thought, yeah, fantastic defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, let's go to the 2 in front. Now let's start with my mate Bentancur, who, by the way, I've almost become a Bentancur fan more than I actually am, purely because I think the way that the fan base have been talking about him is ridiculous. I've always said, Nige, for anyone that will listen to me, Bentancur for me, I always thought was a good midfielder. Good. Like not oh my God, or oh he's shit. Good midfielder, gives you a solid 7 out of 10 each week. Could he have been better before the injury? I don't know. We'll see. But for me, does a job, works bloody hard, loves getting in the tackle, and for me has been really unfairly pinpointed as one of the reasons why we've not been winning as many games as some fans would have liked. What do you make of Bentancur in general? Because I don't know this. And what did you make of him today?
I was a big Bentancur fan when we first signed him. I thought he was a really, really good attacking midfielder. He got forward, scored goals. I think he's always been quite dangerous with set pieces. Um, Obviously, since the injury, he's not quite been the same player. I think he does tend to hold on to the ball a bit too long for my liking. He is either, I don't know if you agree, he's either like a 7 or 8 out of 10, or he's a 3 or 4 out of 10. I
Oh,
never
yeah, yeah.
quite
No,
think
no,
he's,
okay.
yeah. And but today I thought he was absolutely fantastic. I thought he won nearly every duel. I think he was strong in the tackle. His defensive work was brilliant.
Mm.
It's hard, isn't it? Because he didn't, he wasn't mine. You didn't watch him and be like, oh my word, what a player. He's beating 3 men and laying out a 30-yard ball. But defensively, he did exactly what was asked of him. And this is why Bentancur and Polina will play most away games in that double pivot, because it just gives us that protection.
Mm. And look, today I did look at him and go, "Wow," but not from a "you're an amazing footballer," right? I always use this term. I always do that when I say the word footballer, because there are some players I look at and I think, "Yeah, you're a great athlete. You try hard, you work hard." Papasara is one of those, for example. We'll talk about him later. But then there's players who I look at and go, "Yeah, you're a really good footballer. Like you're really good technique with a ball at your feet." Bentancur for me sits in the middle of that. I think Bentancur wins it and gives it. I think
Yeah.
Bentancur is very good in the air. 2 of our last 4 goals he's been involved in. 1 scored, 1 assist. I think he's played. You think in the last 3 games he's played against some really powerful central midfielders, and always does a job. Always does a job. And I get it. I've said as well, Nigel, I would love Spurs to buy a really top class ball playing number 8. You know, I want a conductor. But right now, I just don't think that anybody else in the squad is better than Bentancur to play. Like, I know people go, Gray should have started today and Sarr in there and Bergvall. I just think Bentancur's levels above them for me. Just for me.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I think Bentancur is. I think he's when you're picking your midfield, he's got to be in there at the moment,
Mm.
current form. And you're right. And this is the sad indictment as to where we are. That we have a midfield where, I mean, Polinia starts always for me,
Of
but
course.
Bentancur, Gray, Sarr, Bergvall, none of them really excite me. You know, and this is why I was disappointed that he signed a new contract, to be honest with you, because I'm thinking, okay, Bentancur signed a new contract, so he probably won't be leaving anytime soon. I mean, he may, but Gray's not going anywhere. Sarr's probably not leaving. Bergvall's not leaving. So where are we improving on midfield next season if Bentancur signed a new contract? So for me, I was disappointed he signed a new contract, but he has been really good this season.
Do you think, just to flip it, do you think that there's an argument to say that he signed a new contract so that Spurs can retain value in him rather than letting him go on a
Possibly.
free? Possibly in a year's time, you get 20 million from Saudi or something, and you go, well, 20 million's better than a free. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But the other theory I've got is this. The other problem is, other than Paulinho, who, by the way, isn't a Spurs player at the moment, right? You know, in terms of technically, the rest of them are all very, very, for me, underwhelming and inexperienced. So maybe I don't know. I don't know, because it stops him signing a contract in. If I'm not wrong, he could sign for another club in January on a free, right?
Yeah.
A
Yeah, I
free,
mean, yeah, when you think about it, it's a good idea and it's good work from Spurs to get him on another contract. It's just, I think if we were to keep him for the next 2 or 3 years, that for me would be disappointing
I agree.
because I want to see us move on. But
Mm,
you're right, we need what we have otherwise is very much young players who are not quite at that level yet. And we need some experience. Thomas Frank needs that experience in the squad. And I think that's already showing with Bentancur, with Polinia, with Danzo, all experienced players. And we look a
yeah.
lot better for it.
Absolutely. And do you know what? The only way I'd be happy for Bentancur to stay for a few more years is in the summer, go and buy a proper number 8. Let a Bentancur be the rotation option. Let him be the guy that comes in. All right, we've got a game in Europe this week against a team we should beat, or we're playing Doncaster in the. If that was the case, I'm happy with it. The problem is whenever I defend Bentancur, people think it's because I think he's amazing. I don't think he's amazing. I just don't think the players behind him are. I think they've been way overhyped. Like way over. Like Bergvall comes on today. I don't watch I don't want to go deep into it. I don't ever watch Bergvall and go, wow. Loads of people go, what a good young player. I watch him and I think, you run around a lot, you press well, you work hard, but I'm not really seeing any real quality where I go, cool, that's a top young player. Do you know what I mean?
I think maybe this is, and listen, I'm a big Bergvall fan. I've been very much like, oh yeah, really looking forward to seeing him this season under a proper manager. I think maybe this is why he looked so good last season, because he did run around a lot, he did press a lot. And I think maybe he looked good in that Ange system, whereas now, for me, we're seeing maybe the chinks in his armor. He's not the greatest passer. You know, he gives the ball away a lot. He dives into tackles. He
Yeah.
gets caught out of position. Yeah, he's got a lot to learn, but he is a kid.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So this is the thing. I think whenever we talk about young players, I'm told I'm harsh on them. I'm not. I just don't put them there. For me,
Yeah.
Bergvall, today, that's perfect. Last 20 minutes, go on, son. Go and show everyone. For me, it's all the people go like Luberg, Gray should start in centre mid. Why? You're telling me Gray gives you what Bentancur gave you today? I fail to believe
No
he does
chance.
all of that in the air and the mopping up and the tackling and let's move to Paulinho. I mean, is this our best signing in the last decade. I don't know, on a loan, it's magnificent.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, I love Pellegrini when he was at Fulham, but when you don't watch players week in, week out, you just see him in the odd game on Match of the Day or on Sunday, live Sunday football. You don't really get to see actually what they're really like. And he wins everything. For a player who can't pass, he's a really good passer with the ball, I think.
Yeah.
Player who
Yeah.
can't run, he gets himself around the pitch,
Yeah.
player who he scores goals. He is everything that we've been looking for in a number 6 for years and years and years. And if we don't sign him, I heard a lot of people say that, oh no, I wouldn't sign him. I'd rather have him Adam Wharton. Well, great, yeah. Adam Wharton's a really good young player. But for me, that experience in the centre of the park, I would be spending whatever. If it costs 30 million to get Pellegrini in, spend it. January the 1st, let's make that permanent because he's been absolutely brilliant for Spurs.
See, what I want at Spurs is I want to bring in an Adam Wharton to play alongside a
Outside
Paulinho.
him.
Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? That's what I want. I want
Yeah.
to see Paulinho doing all the DM stuff and then Adam Wharton being right, I'll make things happen. I'll dictate play. But again, yeah, today he showed some turns of pace to get past players. He, superb in the air. Good feet. Good feet for a DM. Good feet. And he gets it and he gives it simply. He's not going to start spraying 25, 30-yard passes like Rodri. You know what I mean? But he's such a good player. I really like him.
Yeah, and his positioning is really good as well. He's always in the right position, to cut out passes. It's not always about a crunch and tackle. He's always there and around just to put a leg out to stop a ball going through. Brilliant player.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. But again, another nominee for me. I thought he had a great game. He's had a great season, to be fair. It's going to be interesting to see though, because at his age, can he consist? The problem will be is he can't play every 3 or 4 days. None of them can. And for me, I think Spurs are always going to be very difficult to beat and be at our best when you've got that structure. But now we're going to start talking about the forward players, where it's not all as sunshine and rainbows. And what we did see as well, and we'll talk about this a bit later, is once you start taking off the better players, once Mawani and Kuda's come off, I start to see that we look weaker, but we'll get there. Let's go with, let's start with Brennan Johnson. So he got the nod today. I have never seen a footballer that encapsulates the word enigma as much as this guy. This guy he's got some brilliant stats in terms of goal scoring, but one of the worst footballers I've seen. Like I genuinely, I think he is. I can't tell you a strength as a footballer, not as a goal scorer, but as a footballer. I can't tell you what he does. What do you make of Johnson? What did you make of him today?
So you're absolutely right. He is an enigma because you look at his stats and you think this guy has to be in the team because he scores goals, he gets assists. He's got to be in the team somewhere. And then you watch him and you're like, okay, this is why he shouldn't be in the team. Today, he did literally the square root of nothing the whole game. I think he's really clever because he got back. There was quite a few occasions I was watching. He got back to help Porro. But it was like he was there, but he wasn't there, if you know what I mean. Because they just played around him so easy. And I'm just like, you might as well not bother getting back. You might as well stay at the pitch because for me, he is so lazy, and I don't want, like I said, I don't want to slam him too much because I loved his dad. I wanted to just sign his dad when he played because I
David.
thought he was brilliant. But
Yeah.
he's just not a very good player.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because do you know what? I always think Brennan Johnson gets hyped up more when he doesn't play than when he does. So, like the last few weeks, struggling to score from open play, what you hear from everyone is Johnson scores goals. Got to get Johnson in the team. Johnson offers this. But then when he does actually play, I'm watching going, this is like playing with 10 men. Like it's genuinely like, I think one thing he did well today, I think I saw him beat a man once.
Yeah,
right. He beat a man, drove into the box, and you're thinking, go on, get you. And there was no end product. But I genuinely, I can't sit here and pretend I like watching him play. I don't. But I genuinely can't be childish enough to say that he doesn't contribute, because he does grab goals. But
Yeah.
for me, that's got to be a player you're moving on in the summer. That's got to be that's got to be a player that you're moving on and getting money for.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And now's probably the best time because his stock's just it's not going to get any higher than it is now. You know, he's
Mm.
just come off a season of being a top scorer. We probably should have sold him this summer, to be honest. But you know, Monaco was a game typically Johnson game, and the fact he didn't play, he didn't start, did he? But he come off the bench, and Spurs were absolutely awful. And then Johnson gets a chance right at the end to win it, and you know they make a block or whatever. But that would have been typical Johnson. Come on, score a late winner, and everyone's like Johnson again, ole ole. And it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah, he just doesn't do enough, does he? It's sad because he does score goals, but he just doesn't do enough.
Yeah, I think for me, I was always taught, especially when I did my coaching badges, I was taught, if you want to see how good a footballer is, watch their feet. Don't watch them, watch their feet. And it's mad. And they actually, when I was doing my coach badge, they actually show you this thing where you put on a thing and you put on these things, right? And you just watch. I play. You go, who's the best player? Red boots, green boots, yep, whatever it may be. When you watch Johnson, there's nothing in his feet. Like he's not got a good touch. He's not got skill. He's not got trickery. He's not got a good cross. He's such a strange footballer. Such a strange footballer. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh well.
I mean, yeah, he'll come in and he'll probably score, you know, 8 or 9 goals this season for Spurs. But yeah, for me, he just does he does nothing, does he? Let's be honest. Like you say, he beat that one man today, and I can remember watching it and thinking, "Oh my God, Johnson's just beat a man." But like you
Yeah.
say, absolutely no end product whatsoever. He's just not good enough for Spurs. Sadly, he's just not good enough.
No. No. I hear you, mate. I hear you. I hear you. Let's move across then. Let's talk Xavi Simons. A difficult start to life at Spurs would be the polite way of saying that he's not pulled up trees. Flashes of ability, but this screams to me of someone that needs half a season or so to really bed in. Don't want to go in on him because he's
Right.
brand new to the league, and some players are just. What do you make of Xavi Simons?
Oh, if I'm honest, yeah, just really disappointed. Listen, he's got plenty of time. He's got plenty of time. I'm sure he'll come good. But so far, I really wanted him to come in. He was our big money signing in the summer, along with Kudus. Wanted him to come in, hit the ground running, and show everyone why we bought him. You know, show people why we beat Chelsea to the signature. If we beat Chelsea to the signature,
Yeah, yeah,
and he's just come in. He's just like you say. We've seen bits, little moments when he's dropped a shoulder or you know played a nice ball through, and you think, okay, yeah, there's a player there. But for me, there's he doesn't seem to have that combination yet with his teammates. You know, there was a run today when he was driving at the defence and like, go on, go on, go on, and he does nothing. He ends up giving the ball away, and I'm just like,
yeah,
that's really poor. And I just want more. And he's trying hard. You can see maybe he's
yeah.
trying too hard.
He's so frustrated with himself. Like,
Yeah,
he gets in the right positions. You could see it today when there was that chance where he could have played in the player through the middle, but went left instead. And you're like, he's
yeah,
getting in the positions, and we've seen him do it for the Netherlands and for RB Leipzig. We know he's capable of it, but
yeah,
it's not quite clicked. And I almost feel with him that he needs that goal. I feel like he needs
yeah.
that goal or that one moment of brilliance to really ignite something in himself. You know, I'm not so worried about. I know people will go, "Oh, he's a flop." I mean, he's played like I think that was his 5th Premier League game, 5 or 6. I mean, like it's absolutely mad. I think he started. I think he started 4 Premier League games or 5. You know, but we'll see. It's up to him, right? In the next, we've got a lot of games. He's got a lot
We'll
of
have
opportunity to show us what he's about, right?
yeah, and this is the thing. Do we know? Do we even know his best position yet? Because
Mm.
You know, a lot of people say he's number 10. A lot of people say he plays better off the left. I know that Leipzig apparently played like a 4-2-2-2, so he is more like an inside forward. It's a difficult one. I think he's one that we just need to give him a bit of time, let him settle. And you got to remember the players he's playing around as well,
Mm.
in and around that strike force. When you've got a Tell or, no disrespect, an Odebell or Richarlison in and around you, you know, it doesn't fill you with maybe the most confidence. But for me, what I'd like to see is a little bit more shooting. There's been a couple of times he's gotten good areas to let one
Agreed.
fly, and he hasn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's a confidence thing or
No, I completely agree with you. Look, I can't sit, as I said, I can't sit here and go, oh my God, he's been brilliant and I love him. And,
mm,
I love him as a player from what I've seen for years before this, but
yeah,
in a Spurs shirt, it's not happened yet. And with players like that, you can only hope it does soon. But look, we'll see what happens with Xavi Simons. We'll see. We'll see what happens with him.
yeah,
He looks frustrated in himself. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Mami Kudus, we know how good he is. Did some great things today. For me, what I'm starting to notice is he's starting to look very tired in second halves. I feel like
yeah.
this is going to be someone that we're going to overplay and overplay and overplay if we don't, because we don't have anybody else to play there. What did you make of him?
Yeah, no, I agree. Is one of those. It's I was saying it during midweek. Obviously he played against Villa, and I was convinced he was going to be left out in the Monaco game. So I thought he's going to need a rest at some point.
Mm,
Obviously he plays the Monaco game. He plays today, and he is starting to look tired. I don't know whether tired, weary. Just I don't know whether he's. I kind of also get the impression he's starting to get a little frustrated as well because
mhm.
simple things that maybe he would have done before, he's now not doing. There was a moment today when he got the ball, he had two players facing up, and just a simple pass back to Porro, and Porro could have whipped one in, but he ignored him and tried to take it on. And I think he nutmegged the guy, but
Yeah,
ended
yeah,
up
yeah.
losing it.
I remember.
But I just think maybe he's getting a bit desperate to make things happen, so he's trying too hard again, maybe taking on too many players and trying to do it all on his own a little bit, if you know what I mean. But listen, there's no doubt he's been a fantastic signing for us. He just needs a bit of help.
And do you know what he's fantastic at? His defensive duties
Mm.
are brilliant. I mean, a couple of times today he came back, really helped out Porro, and it's not just that he helped him out; he helps him out and then drives forward with a ball to take the ball away from the defense. But
Yeah,
he needs a rest, I think. And the problem that I think we've got is, let's say, all right, he's going to get a rest against Newcastle, right? Everyone will lose their
yeah,
mind and go, oh, well, we're starting Johnson or you're starting. But what you can't just constantly run him into the ground because the players behind him aren't good enough, and that's going to be the problem, right?
and the same with other players. Polinia. What happens if we go to Newcastle midweek and Polinia, Bentancur, Kudus all left out because they need a rest? Van der
Right,
Ven maybe as well. Then
right,
you're thinking, oh my god.
of
If we
course.
lose a game, Frank's going to get it in the neck. But the other thing I absolutely love about Kudus, and it showed Wednesday night against Monaco, I think there was 3 or 4 times when the ball was hit long to him, pop off his chest, just stuck to him, or he
Oh,
brought it down, stuck
superb.
to him. And Richarlison must have been looking at him thinking, shit, why can't I do that?
Yeah,
Because every time the ball went to him, he
yeah,
just brought it down,
yeah,
didn't he? Just stuck to him.
yeah. Sorry, Stanley. No, no. Sorry, Stanley's about to do something he shouldn't do. And he's looking at me as if to say, I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do this.
Unbelievable.
Um, yeah, look, I think this is really interesting because without going too deep into it, I actually think on Wednesday is Newcastle Wednesday night. I
Yeah.
I actually think that we will see a rotated team. I do think that will see us knocked out, and I do think we'll see an utter meltdown from the fan base. But you can't just keep putting out these players. You can't. At some
No.
stage, you're going to have a rest, and I would rather rest them against. I'm not saying all of them at once, but I'd rather if Kudus needs a rest, I'd rather he has a rest against Newcastle than Chelsea at home. I'd rather we had him in the home
Yeah.
game against Chelsea up against
Yeah.
Cucurella than Newcastle. But we're,
Yeah.
we'll see. And this is why I think we needed to do so much more in the window. But hey, it is what it is. The last player then, interesting one, Mawani.
Yeah.
Fitter.
Yeah.
Thomas Frank said after the game that he was expecting to get between 45 and 60 out of him. He did. He got 60 out of him. Flashes that he is superior to the other strikers for me. Touch, holding the ball up, running into better areas, little flicks and tricks. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I thought he did. It was one of those. He did okay. He looked a lot better than what we have currently. Certainly, obviously, we've not seen Solanke this season, but for me, the first goal was the perfect example. You know, it was Mwani's turn and run down the flanks, you know, into space that won the corner that we scored from. Now, I'm not saying Richarlison wouldn't have done that, but how often do you see Richarlison turn his man and run in behind? You know, usually he's backing in, trying to get a free kick or nowhere near the ball anyway. So Mwani doing that, running into space, turning in behind and getting a corner out of it, literally led to the first goal. So his early days, it's his first start for Spurs. I think he looks decent. Just a pity he didn't really get a chance to score today. It'd be
Yeah,
nice to see what he's like in front of goal.
it's such a shame, isn't it, that about 5 minutes after he goes off, that ball goes over the top through to Richarlison. And I was thinking to myself, if this is Mwani, this is being being slotted under the goalkeeper. And Richarlison, I don't think there's too much to say about Mwani. I think this is going to be a wait and see with more appearances. But he's a versatile player. He can play across the front line. He's got pace, which is nice. I don't think any of the other strikers have really got pace. We'll see. But let's talk about. I mean, Richie did well to head back across for the goal, but I would thoroughly expect that from a centre forward of his height to head that across. But the big chance he missed, Nige, pretty much for me sums up Richarlison as a centre forward. Is that harsh? Am I being harsh on him?
He's not a goal scorer, is he? You know,
No.
I'm not saying Richarlison's not. I'm not saying he's a terrible player. I mean, he is, but I'm not saying he is. You know, You know
I'll
what? He
say
did really well. He did really well at Everton, didn't he? Scored goals at Everton, but he's never been prolific. Maybe played off the left a little bit. I can see him going back there soon, and hopefully sooner the better. But for me, he's not. He's not a striker. He's not a 20 goal a season striker. He's not even a 15 goal a season striker.
never
He's
has
a
been.
no. I looked at his record, and I think in something like 160 games, he scored something like 40 goals, which is like 10 goals. It's under 10 goals a season.
Yeah.
So
His average is something like 9.8 goals a season throughout his career. It's like
yeah,
and that finish showed, right? Because it was like he got in that position. Any I would say top finisher, any competent finisher just caresses that ball into the net, don't they? He went for pure power straight at the keeper. And people said, "Oh, great save by Pickford." For me, that if that's Jermaine Defoe, if that's Harry Kane, if that's Robbie Keane, do you know what? That's a goal. And he gets away with it today because the goal came when we were 2-0 up and then went on to score a third. But this has got to be his last year at Tottenham, hasn't it? It's got to be.
you would hope so, wouldn't you? I mean, surely Frank must look at him and think, you're not the man to take me forward as a manager. I can't trust you to get me out of a hold if we're playing badly and we're not looking like scoring. I can't trust you up front to get me that goal. So for me, he's not the answer. It has to be his last season, and Spurs have to be firm. We cannot be continually going, oh, we don't want to leave. Okay, we'll stay. So often we hear, oh, teams are in for Richarlison, but Richarlison's going to reject it because he wants to stay at Spurs. No. Spurs, you're going, mate. You're not good enough.
Yeah. See, I really hope we see that this summer. And this summer, I think he'll have 1 year left on his contract. And I'm just so scared that he's going to try and run that down so he can go on a free and get a big bumper sign-on fee somewhere rather than. So that's where you got to hope Spurs turn around and go, look, you're not going to get, you're not going to get game time. Look, do you know that the shame of it is he works hard. He seems like a good, honest pro, but
Yeah.
he's not. He's just not that. The thing is, for the last however many years, not just at Spurs, I've seen so many excuses for this man. It's injuries. He's played left. He's played middle. He's played right. When you get to 28, he's nearly 29. When you get to that age and that's your goal scoring record, it tells you that that's who you are, right? That's your, he's never had a goal. He's never had a goal scoring season of over 50, 13 Premier League goals is his best.
Right.
And
doesn't this sum up why, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to Everton, but don't this sum up why to Everton he was a hero? Because you just said it, Richardson works hard. Everton have always been a workman-like team,
yeah.
Players that work hard for each other. And I think he fits into that team perfectly, but he's just not a Spurs player. I'm not saying that Spurs are this.
We've still got fans that defend it. Like his best ever season at Everton was 13 goals, and I think 5 of them were penalties. Like listen, he's a decent bottom half striker for me. Decent, right? I'm being as polite as I can be, but he's got no first touch. He's not good at holding the ball up. He goes to ground too easily. He's not got great finishing. What is this? What is it that people see in him? Because constantly, he got those 2 goals against Burnley on the first day of the season. And of course, the fan base did their usual. Oh, this is the year. He'll grab 20. He's fit now. I just watch him and go, this is painful. Like this is really painful.
I got to be honest, when he scored those 2 against Burnley, I did think if he's ever going to do it, it's going to be this season. His World Cup, yeah. He's going to want to get in the Brazil side. He just scored 2 on the opening day. Go on then, fill your boots, Richarlison. But it just goes to show he's just not that man. When good chances come to him, or not even good chances, good strikers make the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
Against Monaco in midweek, he had that one chance when Odegaard played him in. A Harry Kane, someone of any quality just hits that first time.
That's the thing for me. I never feel like it's going to end in a goal. Now, don't get me wrong. He scores some magnificent ones. And I always used to hear the saying, he's a scorer of great goals, not a great goal scorer. And that's okay. Let's be fair. You could probably put someone like Peter Crouch in that bracket. Now, Peter Crouch had a lot more to his game, but Peter Crouch would score worldies. Peter Crouch was on goal of the month loads of times for a match of the day. But was Peter Crouch a guy that's ever going to get you 20, 25, 30 league goals? No, he's not. He's not that natural instinct finisher. And too many times when Richie gets in those areas, I never ever think this is going to ripple the back of the net. I just don't ever think goal.
No.
And today was exactly that again. It just didn't.
Yeah, I think
fill me with
Pavlyuchenko was a bit like that as well. Scored some absolute bangers, but was never going to get you 20 goals a season.
Yeah, I listen. I think if you turn around and say he's had some decent games in a Spurs shirt, but at the end of the day, if you want to be a better club, you've got to buy better players, and that guy should not be centre forward. The fact that you've got now, what is he, the 3rd choice striker at the club, Mawani and Solanke in front of him? I mean, that's got to tell you what you need to know. So, hey, it is what it is. But look, Nigel, I don't want to go too deep. But look, essentially, I'll round off the show with this. We won 3-0 away from home. First team to beat Everton at their new ground. Best away record in the country. Joint top goal scorers in the Premier League. Second best defence in the league. 4 clean sheets out of 9. Surely most Spurs fans are going to bed tonight happy. Surely, aren't they?
If you're not going to bed happy tonight as a Spurs fan, then where have you been for the last couple of years? Because this is head and shoulders above what I've been watching for the last 18 months at Tottenham. So I think we're doing great. I think we're in just the right place. I think Frank is doing a good job with what he has. You know, hopefully going forward, Enoch, they've already come out with promises. They're going to start putting money into the club and start building this team. And I think there's a lot of excitement, you know, coming our way, hopefully. And yeah, there's no reason to be negative at all at the moment.
No, no, completely agree. And by the way, just because I'm happy with how things are going doesn't mean I think we're just going to rattle off win after win after win after win. Like, you know, people are going, oh, let's see on Wednesday. Well, yeah, Wednesday's a bloody tough game away at Newcastle. Well, we're not just going to go to every ground and win. But what we've got to do, and I will say, I will end the show on this. After every game we can't win, it can't be a meltdown. No one should be looking at this team saying that team should just rattle off win, 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 win. Arsenal, yes. Arsenal have got the best squad in the league. They should be winning every game. Yes.
Yeah.
Arsenal lose Odegaard for months. They bring in Eze. They've got options. So, look, Nige, I just want to do one last super chat. Big up to JB Macaulay. Said, I see green shoots. It's how we progress. Xavi and Colo are not up to speed yet. Confidence building is key. Worth getting up at 3 a.m. Big up to you, JB. I think you're right. I think if you get a fully fit Colin Mawani, a fully fit and firing Xavi Simons with a Kudus as well, a Dogie flying down the left, I think we could be a very, very good team that start to play a lot better as well. But time will tell. Nige, thank you so much for joining me. I've enjoyed it. Slightly different from the normal panel show for Spurs Review, but I've liked I know lots of people don't like a sensible one-on-one football chat, but that's the way I'm trying to go more as I'm getting older. So thank you.
Yeah. No worries. Enjoyed it, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Always welcome. If one of my mods would be so kind, really quickly to put Nige's link in the chat, that would be absolutely brilliant. We'll see who else is live and we'll redirect you over to, are there any Spurs channels live? I'll send you over to the Spurs diehards. So when you get over there, just say Savva Raid. So when you get over to the Spurs diehards, just say Savva Raid. Much love. Take care. Please subscribe to Nige. There is the link for his channel. Thank you very much. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for all your support today. I'll be back tomorrow. And as always, come on, you Spurs.